waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer! A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Komodo really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. Our primary goal for Arena Breakout is to deliver a highly immersive tactical shooter experience to hardcore fans of first-person shooter games. That is why one key principle for us has been the realistic depiction of the battlefield. Doesn't the sky in Arena Breakout look fantastic? This is because our engineers have used the volumetric cloud technology that reproduces the visual effects of light passing through the cloud. Apart from volumetric cloud, we've also tapped into several other graphic techniques, like the environment light mixture, to make the game even more realistic. You can be at the farm with the sun right overhead at noon, or watch the sunset at dusk in a shady spot in the forest. There's also the question of sound. In Arena Breakout, you must use sounds to determine the enemy's position and gain the upper hand, to create a more immersive experience. We've developed an audio visualization system that displays the location of sound relative to your position. When you are playing, a bigger audio pole and clear lines means the source of the sound is close to you. However, not all sounds can be detected by the system. Some sounds, including doors being opened by the enemy, looting a container, or opening a safe, won't be detected by this system. We want audio visualization to benefit mobile players and provide a comparable experience to what you will find in console and PC games, without sacrificing the importance of developing listening skills in the game. Weapons are another critical aspect of any shooter game. Each and every firearm in Arena Breakout has been designed to be true to life in terms of how they look, how they fire, and the modes available to them. You can mix and match over 700 weapon modes and apply your choices to more than 10 weapon slots to forge the weapon that works best for you. The combinations are nearly limitless. We all know that realistic gun feel matters greatly to tactical FPS players. This is why we've spent a lot of time figuring out the best ways to replicate how a firearm feels. Take weapon recoil, for instance. We broke it down into its components, such as shake, the lifting of the muzzle, the backward movement, and work on this one by one in order to deliver a truly realistic recoil experience.
Wanna guess what's coming?
In Arena Breakout, the battlefield is full of variables and unknowns. This is a game that rewards taking risks. Win, you take everything. Lose, and you start from square one. This is a game of tactics and strategy, first of all. Even before you enter a match, you can shape your combat capabilities based on your preferences. Are you heading into the dark zone with all guns blazing? Or are you going to be the madman attempting to pull this off with nothing but a knife? Your choice of strategy will also determine the kind of game experience you have. You are free to make your own decisions based on the information you get. What kind of choices will you make under pressure? We've also taken great pains to make great maps. I will use the formula, a map most players should be familiar with, for an example. This is the first map we created for Arena Breakout to create a map that is full of interesting tactical space. We first laid out different zones in terms of value. We placed points of interest across the map to vary expected gains, risk, and travel time. These POIs also interact with each other to form the distinctive landscape of the farmland. A map like this makes for a highly dynamic and immersive experience as players engage in both a battle of skills and strategies. A battle that requires them to contend with changes that occur in the field, and the emergent interactions between players with different skills and gear. I want to let you all know pre-registration for the game starts now worldwide, and we hope to officially launch in very near future. It's time to shoot and loot.
Arena Breakout is like literally the first proper true next-gen mobile first-person shooter.
Just overall, there's a lot of customability and just uniqueness that, like I said, we haven't seen in other types of shooters before.
What I like most about Arena Breakout is the healing system, how you're able to use painkillers, surgical kits, and adrenalines to treat yourself.
I'm an ex-military soldier, so being in that mindset again feels absolutely amazing.
It actually speaks a lot for how polished Arena Breakout is, because I don't play a lot of mobile games and stuff like that, and the fact that I was able to dive into this one of these, it was so comfortable.
And so just take that time to learn it all and just be patient with it, because you're not going to pick it up immediately, but once you do, it's going to be a blast.
Just go and play the game. You will die a lot, but that's how you learn things.
Take it a little bit slower than you would the other games, because like I said, it's high risk, high reward.
asshole got fucked up real bad. Hey, boss. Check this out.
Let me see that.
Body's so warm. They might be close.
Nice optics. Extraction point's 2 clicks ahead. Let's go, ladies.
Sniper!
Fuck is he?
Get down!
Sniper, second floor.
Let's get that motherfucker.
Set! I'm out! Go, 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 go! Set! Fuck!
Oh shit, that was close.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. I'm the producer of Arena Breakout here at Mofan Studios. I started out in the industry back in 2004 working on console games like Killzone Shadow 4 and Ghost Recon. For those who don't know, Arena Breakout is a first-person tactical shooter game. It's been 3 years in the making, and our goal is to develop a next-gen FPS game for mobile. In Arena Breakout, the objective is not to be the last one standing. Instead, shoot and loot is at the heart of this game. You grab your loot, then make your way out via the extraction points on the map. That's how you win the game. The dynamic and the immersive experience in Arena Breakout comes from the changes that occur on the battlefield, and the organic interactions between players of differing skill and equipment levels. This is what makes Arena Breakout a unique experience. In July of this year, we launched globally and welcomed millions of players to experience Arena Breakout. Now, I would like to announce that we are going to have our latest season update in October. Join us in Season 2 of Arena Breakout. We will release a brand new map, the Port, where players can explore the Guayapo Space City, once the largest naval base in Carmona. This is where players will find action-packed urban warfare in the streets. We will also bring you a host of new firearms, including assault rifles, shotgun, and a revolver. I know this is exciting for all the gunsmiths out there. Last but not least, the anticipated Storm Warning mode is about to debut. Take on other players and fight Ajax and Plero in foggy weather. Try equipping a tactical flashlight and enjoy a totally different gunfighting experience. Finally, I look forward to welcome all of you to the world of Arena Breakout, where a truly immersive and realistic battle experience awaits you. It's time to shoot and loot.
Welcome back to Arena Breakout's Golden Lions Legion series, and today, we've heard you've been asking to see one particular individual back in the competition, and we are going back into a kills-focused set of rules today. So I'm Modsix. I am your caster for these Golden Lions Legion events, and I love this game. This is the #1 mobile game for me, the most tactically realistic mobile game, and I've had a lot of fun casting these events and seeing some of the best players, content creators in Arena Breakout go head-to-head or team-on-team in these various different formats. So Arena Breakout Global live on July 14th of this year, and so pick it up in the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store if you haven't already. And then you're going to want to have your game loaded up throughout this event. Get your second device if you need to, because it is the fastest person to the redemption code. We've got more of those codes for bundles coming up, and we'll show you here in a little bit how to redeem that. We're going to talk a bit about the rule set here, and then we're going to get a chance to get into an interview with our competitors. Today, heads up, we have Sade and Semivan going at it, and they're going after kills, not loot, in this format. So we'll get into some of the specifics here in a little bit. We're going to get a chance to interview these guys before they get into the games. Our maps today are Farm, Valley, and Armory. We've had these maps throughout pretty much the entire series. We've seen a little bit in Northridge, and we hope to see some more action in Northridge in some future events. But today we have Farm, Valley, and then Armory. There are no restrictions on the guns that these guys can bring in, no restrictions on the total value. And so it's just a pure kill race. The rules that we had previously on kill races with the points are going to apply today. So that's 5 points per TAC Ops player kill, 1 point per covert ops or AI bot kill. And so I expect to see these guys sweeping the map to clear the map early on, and then it's all going to come down to how successful they are in the gunfight on Armory. So I'm excited for this rules format. I love a good kill race, and you're going to see some of the best go at it today. Sade, his reputation precedes him in Arena Breakout. He's an Armory specialist, and he's got a long list of accomplishments in Arena Breakout events already. And then Semivan, you've seen him on the Arena Breakout main channel, and in his last Golden Lions Legion event 2 weeks ago, this dude had all the kills. No problems at all with the kills, but could not come out on top with loot. And so we saw him crush it in those gunfights 2 weeks ago, and we expect to see a battle today. And so yeah, we've got Sade and Semivan, and we'll be getting into an interview with them here in a little bit. We're going to be giving away 15 of the CD keys, those in-game redeemable codes throughout the event. You'll get your first one here before we get into our first map, so have that ready to go. You've got to be fast on those. It's the first come, first serve, one-time use codes. We do 5 at a time, and so you got to be quick. And yeah, but in this rules, it's just a pure kill race for these guys. They can bring in the ammo, the armor, the grenades that they want. They are going into these games solo today as well, and so it's going to be very little looting going on. You may even see them not even bring a backpack. They're going to bring all that they need to get the win in the gunfight, and then that's about it. So we should have an action-packed couple of maps here coming up. So in the format, it's going to be the same that you've seen up to this point, with Sade and Semivan going head-to-head. Best chance they end up in the same on the actual same map as each other is in the first game of each map here. We're going through Farm, Valley, and Armory, and then it's going to be a 30-minute time period on the map for each of these players. The clock's going to be continuously running. They can get as many games in as they want in that time period. So we're going to hop into an interview now with these two guys and see what the plan is, and see what they think coming into this kill race.
Yo.
Gentlemen, we've got Sade and Semivan here in a kill race format coming at us. Sade, you've had some success in these events up to this point. What's the plan for today? You're going to sweep the map, or you're going to go straight for those POIs and try and get into some PvP situations?
To be honest, I wasn't the most successful player in this kind of tournaments because of the RNG effect, but we'll see today. I will run for kills, and I'm going to try to be efficient with the time. So that's the point for me today. I hope that is going to be the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, my also.
Semivan, this is a kill race, which is different than the loot format last time. Are you more excited about this going for kills?
Yeah, I think it's like better format for me.
Yeah, and which map is your favorite from this list of 3, Semivan?
Favorite is like Armory, but I think Farm and World will be easier.
Yep, and there's no gun restrictions for this. What do you think is going to be your favorite gun, both of you, for these maps?
FAL, no doubt.
FAL.
Without a doubt, FAL. Yeah, because of the ammo. I'd like to be able to
Quick
run
answer
M4A1,
from Sade.
The ammo is like absolute garbage. You know, we need some buff for 5.56.
Yeah, so big preference for the FAL over the 5.56 gun. Semivan, what gun do you think you'll be playing with most?
I use like H416 for 2 first map, and Armory, of course, it's full.
Yep. Yeah, so I think we've got a clear favorite here with that FAL and the ammo. Well, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We're going to give you a chance here to go get your loadouts ready, get those streams started, and queue up into farm. I'm excited to see it. A pure kill race. That's what everyone's asked for, and they wanted this matchup. So let's see what you guys can get done today.
Yeah, I wish him good luck. By the way, I wish him some luck with the games. It's good to see some OGs on the competitions. You know, thanks to Arena Breakout for that.
For sure, for sure. All right, good luck, boys. All right, so I think it's very clear. These guys are some of the top players in pure PvP gunfight success, and both of them, when it comes down to Armory, it's the FAL all day, and it's because of that ammo choice. And while the M4 and H4 are some of the most popular guns in the game, they are definitely limited in the quality of the ammo on the top end and how expensive that stuff is. So yeah, I think we'll be seeing a similar style from both of these guys. They're going to be rushing for PvP opportunities. And really, when we have a kill race format, really the biggest RNG factor is going to be on Farm and Valley. We've seen this format, and we've seen players that spawn into the game in that tier 6 armor. That's not necessarily what they're looking for today. They just want to get the most number of PvP opportunities. And so if they jump into a game and the other teams that are on the map are also solos, that limits the total number of points that they can get from this format on that individual game. So they're going to have to make some quick decisions here, because going for pure kills, that also means that once they determine there's not enough opportunity on the map, they can immediately hit the extract, reset, and get in another game. So they can iterate this as many times as they want until that 30-minute time period is up, but they need to extract or die to lock in those points. Frankly, they still get the points for the kills even if they die in game, but if they're MIA, then those points may not register on the scoreboard here. So with that format, they're going to want to iterate as many of these games as possible and go after those gunfights. Now, we've got the process for redeeming the codes. We've got our first codes coming up here in a little bit. What you're going to want to do is be loaded up in Arena Breakout. You're going to go from your main screen to that events button on the far right of the screen, that star icon. Go to code redemption, hit that go button, and put the CD key in. You've got to be quick. They're one-time use, first come, first serve. We're going to show you 5 at a time here, and that will give you the opportunity to pick up those bundles with that higher level armor, guns, ammo, and get into these games and try and go after those PvP opportunities like you'll see Sade and Semivan doing today. So make sure you're quick on the trigger there and have the game open and ready to go throughout the event if possible, so that you can be the first to redeem those codes. All right, we've got our first 5 codes coming up for you now. Like I said, we've got 10 more throughout the rest of the event. So get your game open, be ready. There they are right below my camera. You've got to be first on the draw with that, but that's going to give you the opportunity to pick up a free bundle of armor, weapons, ammo, and give you a shot at maybe lowering your risk going into your next armory game. So these guys are both right now. We've got to wait for them to go through the process of starting their stream, getting their loadout, their weapon, their ammo all set up for the first game on farm. And then once they're ready to go, we're going to bridge over to the in-game camera. You'll see the 30-minute countdown timer going for our round on farm. After our round on farm, we're going to jump right into Valley as quick as possible. So we'll have a quick reset. We're going to look at some highlights, look at the scoreboard update, get the official score, and then hop into Valley for another 30-minute round. After that, we'll see our highlights and score updates, take a 10-minute break, give these players a chance to get a drink of water, take a walk around the studio for a minute, and collect their thoughts before we hop into Armory. And another 30 minutes on Armory. We'll have an interview with the winner here at the end of the event, and that will be our day today for the Golden Lions Legion. I see a lot of excitement here in the chat for Sade. I'm interested to see from our viewers, who do you think is going to pull out the win today? Is it going to be Sade? Is it going to be Semivan? And does Farm and Valley even matter because of all of the kill opportunities they'll have on Armory? Both of these guys are Armory specialists. So let me know who you think's going to win between Sade and Semivan today. I think we've got, we know Sade's got a ton of fans and followers here that are watching him absolutely set the standard for tactics and gunfights in this game. And then Semivan, always featured on the Arena Breakout main channel. And in our last GLL event, Semivan definitely had the most kills of the event, but it was loot based. So he thinks this is a much better format for him. And I agree. I'm excited to see what he can get done here. But the RNG factor that is present today is whether or not these guys spawn into a game, into a map where there are 3, 4, 4-man squads out there that present that points opportunity if they can win those gunfights, win those battles. Or if they spawn into a game where there's a couple of solos out there and that's it. The rest of the map is either bots or covert ops players. So that's going to be the main factor today. That's the RNG factor, but it evens out those possibilities a little bit. It's not just the RNG factor of loot, because you never know what's going to come up in those safes. You never know what kind of gear other teams are going to elect to bring onto the map as a loot opportunity. All of that is factored out in this format. So we're going to give these guys a couple of minutes here to get their, like I said, their loadout, armor, helmet, weapons, ammo ready to go. And then as soon as they get their stream started and we get that 30-minute countdown timer started, we're going to jump into the game as quickly as possible. So if you're just here for the codes, I see you. We've got 10 more coming up throughout the event, and you're going to want to be sure to keep an eye out for those in between each of our 30-minute time windows as we go. So yeah, I'm excited to see what these guys can get done. And Armory today between these two may be some of the most PvP that we see throughout this event. And we've got season 2 of Arena Breakout coming up this week. We've got less than 7 days to go before season 2 launches. And throughout the process of development of this game, I've had the opportunity to talk to the game developers and you know, I even got the chance to bring these guys to the LA Gun Club out in Los Angeles to be able to put their hands on some of these weapons, and in an environment of weapon safety at the range with professional help, they got the chance to fire many of these weapons that you see in the game and personally feel that recoil, personally understand how to be accurate with those weapons so that they could have the highest representation of accuracy when they develop Arena Breakout. And so that's the level of attention to detail that's out there with this developer team. And so with season 2, we've got things like the night mode coming up with flashlights. You might even see some night vision in there. And it's been exciting to be a part of those conversations and to be able to relate my tactical and combat deployment experience as an Army officer to these guys. And they take that seriously. It gets exciting because they're trying to make this game as accurate as possible and you know, as realistic as possible while still maintaining an exciting gaming dynamic and looting dynamic. So it's fun to be a part of that process, and I'm excited for season 2 coming up on October 27th, I believe. Less than 7 days away. We'll have a new battle pass for the season, and we will have all of those in-game weather and night features, which will add a little bit of complication if you feel like it's already difficult to stay alive for the whole game and get to the extraction point here in Arena Breakout. So if the code didn't work, it means you weren't quick enough to get it in there. These are first come, first serve. You'll get another chance throughout our event today, as we've got 10 more of those codes that we're going to be giving away before we finish up. So we should have these guys just about ready to go and queuing into those first games on farm here any minute. So as soon as they are in the game, we're waiting on them, we're going to be hopping right in. So farm, our first map, excited to get into it. We've got our timer starting here in just a second. We're going to hop into the game now. Motel as one of the hottest PvP spots in the game. We see Sade spawning on the western side of the map, moving into Grain Trade Center. Fast and furious. Semivan already closer to the center of the map here. Sade working his way through Grain Trade Center. You're going to see him every time he hears footsteps. He's going to sprint in that direction. You see the red stem shot in, so he can just keep that sprint. And this is going to be the absolute key. That's a TAC Ops team, it looks like.
Bot players.
Dropping the first and seriously wounding the second.
There's another one.
Downs 2, and Sade flowing through the gunfight right now. There's his third. Semivan now moving from east to west across the southern portion of the map. Moving a little bit less quickly than Sade, but already on his way to Motel to find a fight with a team. His experience on this map, very clear. As you see, these guys have so much time in game. They know exactly where to expect the AI and be able to move quickly, not get delayed, not get bogged down. And that speed across the map is everything in this format.
Thank you, Nixon. Love you, buddy.
Sade now moving into Motel from the southern side of the map. Shoots out the windows.
There's a thing.
Highly likely to be the first TAC Ops player here, but takes shots as he gets up top.
I cannot even see him.
It looks like he is not the first TAC Ops player here. Sade in trouble now. Immediately pushes that threat. That kind of aggression, absolutely key when you're pinched. You've got to clear one angle, so you've got a safe area to retreat to. Semivan now moving through the center of the map at the intersection. Now, as a reminder for our rule set, it is 5 points per TAC Ops player, 1 point per Covert Ops player or bot. These guys get the points whether they extract or die on the map, but they cannot be MIA at the end of the 30-minute time window. We're going to have a points recap after each game, and the total cumulative points is our winner. Sade now, able to back up enough to have some safety here. Give himself some space with these grenades. Opportunity to peek. Quick on the draw as he's pushed. Sade able to clear most of Motel at this point. He's had no shortage of gunfight opportunities, and his quickness there and his aggression leading the way. Semivan now at stables. These guys with their aggressive gameplay giving the production team the most challenge today in switching back and forth, as there are going to be no shortage of gunfights, even on farm here. He hears those footsteps. He's looking for the source. Semivan now slowing down to deal with this threat. He's got to be careful to not let this affect his overall momentum in the game. Sade now leaving Motel. He's in and out. Now we may get a chance to see if these guys are in the same lobby. That's the scenario we hope for most of the time. Gets you excited about the potential of custom lobbies, private lobby games in an esports format in this game. Sade finally being able to drop that bot there. Moving into stables now. Semivan in stables. Are these guys in the same lobby? Is he looking at the footsteps indicator from Sade right now? Definitely a TAC Ops player, potentially. And Sade dies to Semivan as he rounds the corner into stables. These players in the same lobby. Semivan able to down Sade. The first time we've seen this opportunity in weeks. But Sade still able to bank all of those kills. We'll obviously get to see both perspectives of that in the replay here after this round. But Semivan, his positioning perfect, his patience not to give away any information, and he ends Sade's high kill game early. Crazy results so far in this first game, but Semivan now moving through the area of the map that Sade has already fully cleared. And so Sade, given this format, being able to bank those points even on a death, Sade may have actually benefited from that game ending as quickly as possible, being able to queue right back into a new one. But the disadvantage of losing all of that kit is going to delay his queue time a little bit here, as he has to re-kit his character and get back into his second game. But Semivan, perfect positioning, excellent patience, able to drop Sade in game one. Among the very few who've collected a Sade dog tag in Arena Breakout. Semivan showing no emotion, no reaction to those gunfights, ice in his veins. Semivan, you know, right before that gunfight with Sade, he was already dealing with other players there, and so he's already moving very cautiously. And just his change of pace to slow that pace down, some of that luck in the timing, because as he slowed his pace down, as he was being very careful with the other players at stables, Sade was rushing in at a full sprint. Semivan now at his first extraction point, as Sade is likely spawning right back into his second game. These guys in an all-out race, both racking up the kills in game one. Semivan, 5 points for his kill on Sade as well as other players. We'll see those numbers on game one for Semivan. 19 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. 17 eliminations in game one. Sade back at Grain Trade Center into game two. Sade filling the inventory there with red stem shots. I expect to see him at a near all-out sprint for the entirety of this whole event. Highly likely that's a TAC Ops player there on the other side of the lake. That northern spawn point near Grain Trade Center, that's going to be where Sade sprints to for that gunfight opportunity. He's closing the distance and wraps around to the right side here. Keeping an eye to his left. Call that the wiggle. Takes one bullet, gives him all the info he needs to find that player, and drops him in 3. Sade not even slowing down to heal at this point. Took minimal damage in that gunfight, except he's got that broken right arm, so that's something he's going to have to address here shortly, but moving through stables now. Has to be careful about that right arm. Clear stables very quickly. Looks like he may have a team or a patrol on the other side of the fence there. Sade now. Health in a little bit of trouble, but able to easily stabilize that situation and starts the heal. Semivan now into game two. Already finding some friction on this map. He's got some healing to do. Gets that stem shot in and those painkillers on. Sade practically an unstoppable force on this map as long as he doesn't run into Semivan. They should be in different lobbies at this point with that time offset. Semivan now. Attack Ops team in his sights. Low gear. Downs them all easily. Constant switching back and forth between these players as both spend less than 20 seconds in between each gunfight. We're going to calculate a kills per minute for you at the end of this event. I assure you that will be some of the highest kill per minute numbers we've seen up to this point in the Golden Lions Legion. Semivan now again working from east to west on this map. Looks like Sade may have gone down there. And it's pretty clear up to this point, Sade is taking maximum risk in every gunfight, trying to prioritize speed. But if he just went down in that game and died this early, that tactic is high risk, high reward, because you have to stay alive long enough so you spend more time on the map than in your prep screen waiting for the next game. Semivan now flowing through these gunfights. Got 5 points per TAC Ops player kill, 1 point per covert ops or bot kill. What we've seen so far is both of these players taking the tactic of just sweeping across the map and killing anything that moves with some reckless abandon in their approach to movement. Semivan now slowing down a little bit. He's got that red stem shot and the energy drink, so he's got all of the stamina he needs to be able to sprint as much as he wants here. And you notice in his movement across the map, he's taking what I would call a high visibility, low cover kind of route, where he's not running from cover to cover as much, and he's crossing open areas, but he's giving himself the most visibility in his movement across the map here possible. It's going to give him opportunities to take those mid and long range fights. And the more he's able to do that as he continues to run, the faster he's going to make his way across the map and kill everything in his way. Sade now back in. Game 3, puts in the red stem. You could only hope to be lucky enough to spawn in as a covert ops player and just loot the trail of bodies that either of these guys are going to leave. See somebody in the chat noticing the potential opportunity there, as these guys, neither of them are taking any time to loot. Sade now his 3rd time in a row spawning at Grain Trade Center. Now, both of these guys getting in gunfights so often, it is impossible to tell who is in the lead. We'll have score updates as we go. We know Sade has 56 points on the board there. You can see on the screen, but we don't have Semivan's updated score yet. Semivan does have points on the board, having made it through game 1 with a successful extraction, killing Sade in game 1. Moving very effectively and efficiently across the map here on farm. Headed towards motel and stables. And you see a notable difference in pace this week versus last week as we get into what is a pure kill race. Semivan taking quite a few of these gunfights at mid to long range, whereas we see Sade dealing with these close range threats. Sade's movement technique being a little bit more aggressive. Some might call it reckless, but he's given himself opportunity after opportunity for these kills. Semivan moving a little bit more deliberately to take those gunfights at mid to long range. Stayed perfectly happy here, although he takes shots from the window upstairs. One arm broken. He pulls back to get a better angle here. Shooting out windows.
I don't actually waste my time. I don't actually waste my time.
Wants to maintain his pace. He's going to wrap around to the left and re-engage here. Semivan now in stables, moving quickly. Sade now leaving the motel area, killing every guard along the way. And both of these guys, you could tell, they've played these maps so many times. Even though they're both armory specialists, they have so many reps on these maps that they know exactly where to look for these AI guards. Sade now taking the shortest route possible, just beelining for the extraction. Looking to get into another game. Coming up on 9 minutes left in our 30-minute time window. Sade seemingly taking gunfights as close to the enemy as he can possibly get. Checking ammo now as he moves. Semivan near graveyard. Potentially in a fight with TAC Ops players, as there is a spawn point over there. Now, Sade's pace of movement across this map, it looks like he gets the opportunity on every bot on this map as he's first to get there every time. Electing to completely ignore his broken right arm. He's got the extraction point right in front of him. Sade now, plenty of opportunity to get one more game in.
Let's get into the next match.
Both of these guys seriously racking up the kills. And this is farm. We still have Valley, but then Armory. Armory is everything in this format. As we've seen, you know, in any format, whether it's kill race or loot, Armory giving the opportunity to completely flip the scoreboard. Sade with 21 eliminations in that game. Semivan now also moving towards the extraction point. Both of these guys likely going to have an opportunity to get one more game in. Just under 7.5 minutes left to go in our 30 on farm. I pity the players who are just trying to have a nice Saturday afternoon. Maybe hop on for a relaxing game or two on Arena Breakout and find themselves in a lobby with either one of these guys. Semivan now hits the extraction point. Just over 6.5 minutes at the pace either of these guys is going through this map, both with plenty of time to get in a quick game, but they have to get off the map to bank those points. Extraction or death, either way, MIA doesn't get it done. 30 eliminations for Semivan. And we'll see the official score update at the end of the 30-minute round. Going through accounting for those kills with the screenshots. Sade now with points updated to 77. We should see Semivan's points update from those first couple of games here any minute. Sade now in his final game. Semivan hoping to be in the game by the 5-minute mark. Sade, his first Eastern spawn on this map. He knows there's a TAC Ops team to his north. Clearing bots as he goes. A great opportunity to add some points to his total here. He finds the team. Sade moving at an absolutely murderous pace through these gunfights. Never stops sprinting.
He'll take them all back at factory.
Taking no damage up to this point, but every kill opportunity. Sade has basically cleared the entire eastern side of the map at this point and heads towards Motel. Much more likely on this map on farm to see these low geared or no geared players on the map. But as we get into Valley, that becomes a lot less likely and never happens on Armory. Armory with its minimum gear value requirement, but most players vastly exceeding that if they want to be successful on that map. Sade now slaying bots.
Oh, painkillers, I forgot.
3.5 minutes left in this time window. Both players trying to get as many kills here in the last couple of minutes as possible. Finding no shortage of opportunities. Semivan continues this sprint across the middle of the map. Sade now rushing into Motel. Sounds like he's got the boss there. He does. That's just more opportunity. But this boss, dealing with the boss on any map as a solo is difficult. We're going to see how he approaches this. Take notes here, because this is how you address the boss squad by yourself. Although there may be another team here. Sade now, one broken leg, damage to the rest of his body, but downing 3. Ignores his leg. Pushes in to the boss squad. Takes a little bit more damage to the arm there. Thinks there may be a TAC Ops player over there. Semivan now approaching Motel. 1 minute and a half left. Again, we've got lots of geographic distance and ping between myself, these players, the production team. So there may be some slight delay with this overall timer, but these guys having just over 1 minute left on farm. Sade now out of Motel, sprinting towards the extraction point. taking no time to heal. Semivan now fully committing to Motel. Grenade on grenade battle. Semivan takes no damage. The final few seconds here. Not sure if Semivan's going to be able to bank these points. We will see the full updated score here at the end of the round. Sade able to extract here at the end of the countdown timer. All right, as our production team calculates these scores, Sade with 21 eliminations in that final game will be calculating the official scoreboard update for our games on farm. That ends our 30-minute timer on farm. Both of these players going through the games as quickly as possible. We saw a fast reset after each game, and this is why I love the kill race format. There is never going to be a situation where you see more aggression on the map, constant sprinting across the map for both of these players. Red stem shots are the name of the game so far, and we're going to get an update, and we're going to see. It's almost impossible to tell who's in the lead at this point because the action is so fast-paced. But as we get to the highlights and the update, we will find out, and we will get to see a replay of that game one 1v1 between Semivan and Sade. Semivan having the benefit of the opportunity there, having slowed his movement down, lowered his sound signature, and he could hear Sade sprinting in from a mile away and able to pick him off in that position as he rounded the corner. We're going to get to see some highlights, and then both of these players are getting their loadouts ready for Valley. I don't actually expect to see any major changes with their loadout choices. I think we'll see the same guns that they were playing in Farm, and then we're going to see both of them go into Armory with that FAL. But both using a magnified optic even on Farm, and that's probably all they really need for Valley. Let's get into the recap. We have Sade with 70 total kills, Semivan with 47, a total points outcome in our 30 minutes on farm. Sade leading with 114 total points and Semivan with 71. Semivan not getting off the map in that final game, as well as Sade's hyper aggressive movement strategy and gunfight strategy, allowing Sade to come out on top in round one. But as we know, this is only 1/3 of the way into the competition. There is plenty of RNG and how many other TAC Ops players will be on the map with Valley and then Armory. Given the way this map works and all of the kill opportunities on Armory could completely flip the script. So Sade coming out on top in round one, despite losing the 1v1 gunfight with Semivan in that first game. And we're going to jump into some highlights here. Check out the action. No shortage of gunfights to pull from to create the highlight reel for round one. Both of these players moving very quickly through the early game to clear towards Motel and constantly running into those TAC Ops gunfights in Motel. Sade with the hyper aggression throughout this first round. Semivan able to down Sade in that first game, but really the main outcome of that 1v1 is that it delayed Semivan's extraction from game one. And Sade, having cleared most of that map, was able to get more eliminations in that game despite Semivan winning the 1v1 battle. And on farm, we'll see this more often than on any other map. Those ultra low geared or no geared players, Semivan making quick work. Sade seemingly taking nearly every gunfight from about 3 feet, where Semivan electing to maximize those mid and long range opportunities.
Let's get into the next match.
Both players quickly iterating these games, trying to get in as many reps as possible. And Sade making some of the quickest work of any boss squad that we've seen as he flowed straight through this, hyper aggressive, and got to the extract. Whew, an exciting first round. This is the kill race format. Both of these guys playing a hyper aggressive style, but Sade likely edging out Semivan's aggression at this point, as Sade constantly sprinting through the gunfight with so much momentum that he's taking most of those fights at extremely close range. So that clearly being the winning tactic for farm, but these guys are getting ready for Valley. We'll be hopping into Valley as soon as that 30-minute timer starts, as soon as they're queuing in to that first game. So both players, even though the AI guards only count for 1 point, both players electing to basically engage every single one of them that they come across, whereas the TAC Ops players at 5 points per kill, making up at least half of each player's point total up to this point. So both, I would say, got plenty of PvP opportunities on farm, more than we've seen in some of the previous iterations of this, and hopefully that trend continues as we get into Valley here in a minute. So the production team with a challenge today, trying to stay with the gunfight when both of these guys are basically constantly in a fight throughout the event. So again, we've got 30 minutes coming up on Valley. We'll check out the recap and highlights from Valley after that. And then we've got a 10-minute break before we get into our final round of 30 minutes on Armory. So as soon as these guys are ready to go, we are going to be jumping into the game with them. And, you know, in these public lobbies, there is that RNG factor, but that just gets you more excited for a custom lobby esports format where we know exactly how many TAC Ops players are on the map. We know everyone in all of those teams, and we can watch the game in that format. I cannot wait for that to happen and have all of that RNG factor taken out. But in these Golden Lions Legion events, we represent what you can actually find in the game if you log in to Arena Breakout right now and queue up for Farm, Valley, or Armory. So when you see these guys and their approach that they take, what you're seeing is likely some of the most successful potential tactics for these public lobbies. And in this case, it's a kill race, but in previous events, we've had loot-focused events, and you see them come out with big numbers. In 90 minutes of gameplay, players coming out with 1 million, 2 million coin in value. And in this format, we see players with 2-3 kills per minute. Crazy numbers. You know, Sade with over 70 kills, or at 70 kills after the first round. That's more than 2 kills per minute. He's getting a kill every 25 seconds throughout the entire thing. That even counts the time he spends in between games. So the fastest paced gameplay that you can find. And yeah, excited to see what they do in Valley. Can't wait for Armory. So we're going to be jumping into the games with them as soon as they're ready to go. And at this point, you know, these players have played in multiples of these events in the various formats. To prep for these events, they have to spend the prior week completely stocking the inventory, making sure that they're not having to go to the market in between games to refit and have that slow down their pace. So all of the prep that goes into this event is absolutely a factor in these guys being able to maintain that pace, not just in the game, but in between games, to be able to queue up as quickly as possible. So yeah, we'll see how they're able to keep that pace up as we get into Valley here. And you know, Semivan electing to play with the H4, I doubt that was a factor in the points differential. And it didn't feel like there was a major difference in how many opportunities for the gunfight. What it really came down to so far is Sade just being hyper aggressive constantly sprinting and maintaining some of the fastest momentum through the gunfight as his main tactic in this first round. So yeah, we're waiting on them to get into Valley. We're going to bridge over to that as soon as we possibly can. Don't want to keep you waiting. Have plenty more action in this kill race format. And as a reminder, if you're just joining us, the way the points are calculated, the way the format works, we just finished up Farm. We've got 30 more minutes on Valley and then a 30-minute time window on Armory. These players only get points for kills and only when they are able to get off the map somehow with a death or an extraction. And so 5 points per TAC Ops player, 1 point per Covert Ops player or AI guard. And we should be ready to hop into Valley. Going to get into the game and see if this crazy fast gunfight pace continues. I expect both of these players will be rushing towards Villa, but plenty of opportunity at RV camp and some other areas as they approach. Sade now with a spawn on the north side of the map. Farthest from Valley. In Valley, a more spread out map, even more valuable to keep up that pace of movement across the map. I doubt we'll see any time throughout this event where these players don't have red stems on board, giving them the opportunity to sprint as much as possible. Those red stem shots, those energy drinks, a huge factor in this style of gameplay in this format. We'll have 10 more redemption codes coming up here. Expect to see the next set of them on our next break. Give you an opportunity to maybe try out some of these hyper-aggressive tactics. We see Sade electing to go towards RV camp to clear that high ground first. Sade, first player to RV camp. Taking no damage so far as he clears these guards. Semivan moving up towards that high ground. From the opposite direction. Here's the action on the high ground. Definitely TAC Ops players up here. Goes down. Looks like he died to Sade. He did. Sade is able to get it back. We get another 1v1. Both of these players queuing into the same lobby. Now remember, both of them are in the EU region. Sade able to quickly take that high ground and establish the position there. Semivan coming up from the low ground and around the corner at the disadvantage, and Sade gets it back. Gotta love when you get multiple games in an event like this where we see both players go heads up.
Came from opposite side. I don't think they are scaling opposite side.
We can only hope to get the tiebreaker in our next round on Armory as Sade now moving very quickly towards Villa. Likely hoping for the boss squad to be there, just more opportunities for points. And we're going to get to see how the 1v1 impacts that early momentum in this round. We're down to just over 24 minutes left. Doesn't look like Sade has stopped to loot at all, so this helicopter extraction being the closest and fastest extraction point, he's going to need to pick up some dog tags in order to be able to activate it. Sade taking smart angles here, making quick work of these AI.
I'm from Holy fuck. Oh. Stream is good now.
Now, I'd be interested to see how long Sade decides to stay at Villa. I doubt he's going to be in a position where he wants to wait on anyone, wait on an opportunity. Looks like he's already on the way out.
Thank you, Judy.
Sade quickly in and out of Villa. Hits another red stem and hits painkillers.
Let's change it.
And he may have just been ignoring that helicopter extract and the dog tags required, because if you note the remaining time in his game, that extraction point, don't think is even activated until the 10-minute mark.
Back into runners. That's right.
Sade now headed to the extraction. Semivan also on his way out. Both players, or excuse me, Semivan back into the game here. Game 2 after losing the 1v1 to Sade, but he's already into game 2. This may actually give him some early momentum on the kill numbers. Although Sade likely having more kills in game 1, he's still not quite off the map. Semivan again, preferring to take those mid to long range gunfights. Semivan now switching to the RPK, abandoning the suppression. And I've seen the chat. It is an interesting point that what he did with that suppression is potentially just make less noise, attract less attention, and actually reduce his gunfight opportunities. Whereas Sade, from the beginning of this event, unsuppressed and recklessly running into any gunfight opportunity. Semivan here with a chance to third party this fight. Doing everything he can to sprint towards this gunfight. Sade now at the extraction point after game number 1. Sade with 21 eliminations in game 1. But Semivan already into game 2 and racking up those kills. Working his way through Valley Village. Semivan now with a chance to clear Villa quickly. Sprints straight into Villa. Again, these aggressive, fast movement tactics, a result of this kill race format. In and out of Villa, looking for potentially another team or the boss squad, and finding neither. Semivan may be looking to reset here quickly. is this game pretty quiet so far. He's able to down a Tac Ops player there. Gets 2. Broken leg, but with those painkillers and the stem shot on, he's got plenty of opportunity to continue moving quickly. Surrounded by footsteps now. Semivan now racking up the numbers in game 2. Another gunfight in the distance. No time to heal. Semivan now approaching the tower, sees his targets. Look to all be Tac Ops players who now have the high ground on him. He's in a tough situation. Drops 1 with no gear. Drops the second who's geared. He's got to address these guys on the high ground here. Could potentially be bots on the high ground. Semivan with all of the PvP opportunity here in his second game. Sade now moving across the map. Could have been a Tac Ops player there for Sade. Now, it looks pretty clear that both of these players prefer whatever route they need to take to get to RV camp, then a move down into Villa. Sade surprised around the corner by that guard. Able to avoid any damage and very quickly eliminate the threat. He continues to push across this map. Sade, the king of the 3-foot gunfight. Valley clearly as a map requires you to cover more ground in between gunfights. Those red stem shots and energy drinks being even more a key dynamic here because they've got more ground to cover with every single game. Getting close to the halfway point now. 16 minutes left on Valley for these players. Sade with the long distance kill on that guard. The guard AI giving him an easy target. Looks like he's headed straight towards Villa.
And we are going to play Army. Give me a look back just in case. Let's change the map.
Tac Ops kill there, picking up the dog tags. Looks like Sade is going to collect dog tags for that helicopter extract in this game.
You have 30 minutes per map.
Sade now with the hyper aggressive push into Valley. Villa.
My dear friend.
He may have an opportunity to down that boss squad now. Semivan with this extraction. Game 2, first successful extraction, having lost the 1v1 to Sade in game 1. Quick to get off the map, an 8-minute and 22-second game on Valley. with 23 eliminations. Sade now dealing with this boss squad. Some of the most aggressive boss squad pushes you'll find here. He's going to hold this corner. Now, there's a danger in that, though, as there is a long angle where you can get shot in the legs there. He's going to reposition, which is probably one of the best tactics you can use with these boss squads, is they push very, very quickly. They are much more aggressive than the other guards on these maps. The green stem, probably the least used stem in this game, but perfect for these boss fights, especially as a solo player. Sade gets a peek around the corner. There's the boss. There's the rest of his squad. They line up for Sade here. He takes some damage, but he's able to drop them, getting the final kill there. He does. Doesn't sound like there's any more threat. Breaking both arms. Now, when you have broken limbs, you have to be careful on the jump. Possibly a Tac Ops player on the backside of Villa there. Downs him quickly at distance.
Oh, we don't have the that's bad.
He's able to heal up, but he does have both of those arms broken. Arms being the first thing to get shot as you peek the corner. So he's got to be careful. Any damage to those arms will end the game for him. Not sure if he was able to kill that player or not, but he sees the footsteps indicator there. Hears those footsteps, able to get a good idea where he is. Rushes in. Able to get 2 kills there on the backside of Villa. Broken legs, broken arms, has to heal. Now, as he jumps around on these rocks, if he takes any damage to those legs, it's the end of the game. But it does look like he's going to have the dog tags he needs. The jump there, huge risk every time he takes one of those big jumps with both of those legs broken.
I have to survive this round.
Able to disregard some of that risk as he knows he doesn't need to survive to bank those points. Semivan now into game 3. Game starting relatively quietly and slowly for Semivan, as despite him sprinting, he finally finds a target of opportunity there at mid-range. His first kill of this game. Elects to take some of the high ground here, give himself the best field of fire as he moves across this map. Potentially a Tac Ops player there in the distance. Low gear. Semivan looking like he's headed towards RV camp. Sade now at the RV camp extraction point, able to pick up the required item for this extraction. Does not get that final kill before he gets off the map, but able to extract quickly. 9.5 minutes left now. Plenty of time for Sade to get back in another game on Valley. 25 eliminations in that game for Sade. Semivan potentially in his last Valley game, as he's early in this game with just over 9 minutes left. Shoots up towards RV camp. We'll see. He's got a decision make here on whether he goes straight into Valley Village and into Villa. That looks like that's what he's going to do. It's much more dangerous moving across the low ground prior to the high ground being cleared. But also a higher chance of confrontation, as we see here. Semivan clearing his way through these bots on his way into Valley Village. Here's a gunfight in the distance. Lots of shots here in the distance. Some real opportunity if Semivan's able to get here early enough. Downs one. Gets his second kill. Clearing across the map at this point. Four kills as he continues his sprint. Semivan now likely going to head straight to the extraction, although he is going to be seriously pressed for time to get in another game. Under 7.5 minutes now left in this 30-minute time block on Valley. Sade likely just now getting into his last game on Valley. 7 minutes at the start of the game is enough time to get to an extraction point. Obviously, if you get into a heavy enough gunfight and die, that can actually help your time here. But with Semivan at this pace, he's still clearing these guards across the map. Those AI bots providing some targets of opportunity, but only 1 point each. He likely has another minute before he gets off the map, potentially a minute in the reset, giving himself less than 5 minutes for a final game if he attempts one. Semivan now in an all-out sprint for the extraction. Wasting no time on heals. He got a decision to make here as he's close to the extraction point, but limited on stamina. In most situations, it'd be a waste to use the red stim there, but could potentially shave off a few precious seconds. He gets to the extraction point now with less than 6 minutes left. He banks those points, and our points updates are all based on when the production team is able to get those screenshots from the players. 16 eliminations for Semivan in that round, and it looks like Sade may have the advantage again. He's into this game, picking up dog tags. Gets the distance kill, and he's headed straight towards Villa.
Yes, we can help.
Now on short time, expect Sade to be looking for every opportunity just to add kills to the scoreboard. He's checking those long distance lanes to see if he sees any silhouettes there. A chance to third party a gunfight. Sade with plenty of stamina. He's going to sprint straight into this gunfight. Here's those suppress shots. Sees the bots moving towards the threat. Some of those, that might be the TAC Ops team there as he downs 4 in a row.
There's your hat.
That team standing in the center of Valley Village, giving Sade an easy 20 points on the board. Catches them at the perfect angle and put on their heels. Sade now with less than 3.5 minutes left. He knows there's a fight on the high ground. Caught in the reload there. Stays in the pocket, finishes that bot off very quickly. He sees his extraction point. He's got plenty of time to get there. He's going to take a quick look at this high ground. Just under 3 minutes left. If he's able to finish another gunfight here on the high ground and make it to that extraction point, Sade is perfectly timing and maximizing his opportunities for kills here. Adding 2 more points.
You know what? I don't want to risk it. I have like 3 minutes left.
That gunfight pushing him too far away from the extraction point. He elects to head back towards the red smoke. He's got 2 minutes left. Semivan now hoping for anything possible. 2 minutes left in this game. Adds 3 to the total, but he's got to get those in the bank by getting off this map somehow. The level of skill demonstrated in the gunfight by both of these players. They're hyper aggressive, momentum focused style. Sade now with 2 broken legs gets to the extraction point.
This was the last value.
But these guys making
like
these
3
TAC
rounds,
Ops teams
it's really good.
look like bots stuck in the mud as they completely overwhelm entire teams of 4. Coming into the last few seconds here, 18 kills in that final game for Sade. Able to bank his last points. Semivan now with basically no time remaining. Gets close to that bot, looking like he was going to give him the chance to kill him. But continues to down these players as our timer runs out. Looks like those few kills in this final game may not count for Semivan. Finishing our 30-minute timer on Valley. It looks like both of these players having the chance to get the same number of games in, despite Semivan's first game being shortened. He hits the grenade with that timing that may have successfully gotten him off the map. And a slight difference in pace on Valley as a map. You know, there's much more ground to cover in between those points of interest. The AI guards are more spread out on the map. but both of these players finding no shortage of gunfights, and it looked like Sade had a little bit more momentum, but Semivan potentially getting off the map in time with that grenade at the end could have gotten one more game in than Sade. So a couple of different factors here going into who may have ended up on the top of our scoreboard for our Valley round. We're going to see our Valley round total points. We're going to see the total cumulative points up to this point in the competition today. And then after a break here in a little bit, we will be heading into Armory. I don't expect the pace of play to slow down at all, as dying on these maps does not eliminate the opportunity to bank those points. So I expect to see both of these players let it all out, potentially risk their entire inventory to get in as many iterations of the games on Armory as possible. So Sade getting one back in that first game with a 1v1 opportunity again against Semivan. Both of these players, both rounds in a row, queuing into the same game for game one. On farm, Semivan able to pick up the ideal position and kill Sade as he ran into stables. And then on Valley in that first game, Semivan approaching from the low ground. Sade with the advantage in the position is able to down him very quickly with headshots. And so both of these players having no problem clearing across these maps and really only running into trouble when they see each other up to this point. But Armory is a completely different story. Armory, the bots on that map are absolutely vicious. There's no delay in their firing. They are highly accurate. And then there's an expectation that other players on the map are well geared with that high level ammo. So the threat is ratcheted up for our final round. We'll be getting into it in just a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to review our points. We're going to see some highlights from our second round on Valley. And then we've got a little bit of a break before we hop into Armory for our final 30 minutes. So Sade taking potentially the most aggressive strategy that we have seen from any player in any of these events up to this point. He's solo. There's no loot involved, which means it is Sade on an all-out run for maximum kills. We're seeing the same thing from Semivan. Slight differences between their movement speed and momentum, but clearly the same strategy of moving as quickly as possible across the map into those areas where there's a high likelihood of running into other teams, and then getting to the extraction point as quickly as possible. Zero hesitation with either of these players, which makes for some exciting gunfights one after the other, and probably presents some challenge to the production team in order to just be able to stay with the gunfight as so many going on at once. But we're going to check out the points recap. We're going to check out the highlights from our second round. And some people in the chat saying that this last hour of gameplay is not indicative of the Arena Breakout experience. Well, it is if you're able to pick up that momentum and be able to play with the level of gun skill and accuracy of these players. But a reminder, these are some of the best in the world at this game. All right, so we're going to get into our 10-minute break here, and as soon as we come back, we will have the recap from round two, the highlights from round two, and then we'll be hopping into Armory. So we're going to cut to a break, give these guys a chance to take a walk around the room and get their mind right for our games on Armory. I'm Modsix. I'll be back at you in 10 minutes. Excited to cast the final round of this event. We're going to take our 10-minute break now, and then we'll have our review and hop into our last round.
Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? what you're fighting for? Here's my answer! A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Kimona really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. Our primary goal for Arena Breakout is to deliver a highly immersive tactical shooter experience to hardcore fans of first-person shooter games. That is why one key principle for us has been the realistic depiction of the battlefield. Doesn't the sky in Arena Breakout look fantastic? This is because our engineers have used the volumetric cloud technology that reproduces the visual effects of light passing through the cloud. Apart from volumetric cloud, we've also tapped into several other graphic techniques, like the environment light mixture, to make the game even more realistic. You can be at the farm with the sun right overhead at noon, or watch the sunset at dusk in a shady spot in the forest. There's also the question of sound. In Arena Breakout, you must use sounds to determine the enemy's position and gain the upper hand, to create a more immersive experience. We've developed an audio visualization system that displays the location of sound relative to your position. When you are playing, a bigger audio pole and clear lines means the source of the sound is close to you. However, not all sounds can be detected by the system. Some sounds, including doors being opened by the enemy, looting a container, or opening a safe, won't be detected by this system. We want audio visualization to benefit mobile players and provide a comparable experience to what you will find in console and PC games, without sacrificing the importance of developing listening skills in the game. Weapons are another critical aspect of any shooter game. Each and every firearm in Arena Breakout has been designed to be true to life in terms of how they look, how they fire, and the modes available to them. You can mix and match over 700 weapon modes and apply your choices to more than 10 weapon slots to forge the weapon that works best for you. The combinations are nearly limitless. We all know that realistic gun feel matters greatly to tactical FPS players. This is why we've spent a lot of time figuring out the best ways to replicate how a firearm feels. Take weapon recoil, for instance. We broke it down into its components, such as shake, the lifting of the muzzle, the backward movement, and work on this one by one in order to deliver a truly realistic recoil experience.
Wanna guess what's coming?
In Arena Breakout, the battlefield is full of variables and unknowns. This is a game that rewards taking risks. Win, you take everything. Lose, and you start from square one. This is a game of tactics and strategy, first of all. Even before you enter a match, you can shape your combat capabilities based on your preferences. Are you heading into the dark zone with all guns blazing? Or are you going to be the madman attempting to pull this off with nothing but a knife? Your choice of strategy will also determine the kind of game experience you have. You are free to make your own decisions based on the information you get. What kind of choices will you make under pressure? We've also taken great pains to make great maps. I will use the Farmland, a map most players should be familiar with, for an example. This is the first map we created for Arena Breakout to create a map that is full of interesting tactical space. We first laid out different zones in terms of value. We placed points of interest across the map to vary expected gains, risk, and travel time. These POIs also interact with each other to form the distinctive landscape of the farmland. A map like this makes for a highly dynamic and immersive experience as players engage in both a battle of skills and strategies. A battle that requires them to contend with changes that occur in the field, and the emergent interactions between players with different skills and gear. I want to let you all know pre-registration for the game starts now worldwide, and we hope to officially launch in very near future. It's time to shoot and loot. Hi everyone, I'm Yiming from the Arena Breakout team. I'm the producer of Arena Breakout here at Mofan Studios. I started out in the industry back in 2004, working on console games like Killzone Shadowfall and Ghost Recon. For those who don't know, Arena Breakout is a first-person tactical shooter game. It's been 3 years in the making, and our goal is to develop a next-gen FPS game for mobile. In Arena Breakout, the objective is not to be the last one standing. Instead, shoot and loot is at the heart of this game. You grab your loot, then make your way out via the extraction points on the map. That's how you win the game. The dynamic and the immersive experience in Arena Breakout comes from the changes that occur on the battlefield, and the organic interactions between players of differing skill and equipment levels. This is what makes Arena Breakout a unique experience. In July of this year, we launched globally and welcomed millions of players to experience Arena Breakout. Now, I would like to announce that we are going to have our latest season update in October. Join us in Season 2 of Arena Breakout. We will release a brand new map, the Port, where players can explore the Guayapo Space City, once the largest naval base in Carmona. This is where players will find action-packed urban warfare in the streets. We will also bring you a host of new firearms, including assault rifles, shotgun, and a revolver. I know this is exciting for all the gunsmiths out there. Last but not least, the anticipated Stone Warning mode is about to debut. Take on other players and fight Ajax and Plero in foggy weather. Try equipping a tactical flashlight and enjoy a totally different gunfighting experience. Finally, I look forward to welcome all of you to the world of Arena Breakout, where a truly immersive and realistic battle experience awaits you. It's time to shoot and loot.
and we're back for our final round of this Golden Lions Legion event on Armory. We're going to have 30 minutes on Armory, but first, we are going to get into a recap and some highlights from our last round on Valley. I'm Modsix, your caster for these Golden Lions Legion events, and with my tactical background as an Army officer, I can tell you with 100% certainty that this is the most realistic tactical shooter game on mobile. So we're going to check out the recap from Valley. We're going to get into some highlights, and we'll see who is on top. Sade just edging out Semivan on Valley with 64 total kills to Semivan's 50. Sade only adding 14 points to his total points lead, but he widens the gap over Semivan, a much closer round than our round on farm, and Semivan with all of the opportunity to completely flip that scoreboard going into Armory. But Sade proving that his hyper aggressive strategy working out successfully here, and both of these players trying to very quickly move through these games. We see Sade going straight for RV camp early in game one, and as he moves across the high ground, Semivan runs right into him face first for Sade to get one back, and we are at 1-1 for these players in 1v1 situations as they match up in the first game of each round so far. Sade still able to pull a little bit of loot value with that extraction. Both of these players, though, spending almost no time at all looting. Semivan taking more of those mid to long range gunfights throughout the game here, and finds himself surrounded by players in some of these situations. Plenty of opportunity for the kill. Sade with his hyper aggressive style, taking so many close range gunfights, even on Valley, and an opportunity to run right into this boss squad. While these bots are only 1 point per kill, there was a TAC Ops team on the backside of Villa that gave him the opportunity for 10 more points. And Sade in his final game able to take that RV camp extraction. Sade looking at that TAC Ops squad that just got caught completely on their heels. And sorry, that was his final game where he's able to take the rowboat extraction on the side of the beach. Semivan in his last game, able to add a few more points to his kill total and dies to his own grenade and able to get off the map in time. An exciting round on Valley, slightly slower pace than we saw in the first round on Farm, but getting into Armory, we are going to see that ramp back up. And so we'll see our total scoreboard points total here in a second, and we're just about ready to get into the games on Armory. So as soon as we have an opportunity, we're going to bridge over to those games on Armory with, again, 30 minutes on the timer. 30 minutes on the timer. We've got our second set of codes ready to go for you so that we can you can get in the game, redeem these codes, get those higher level armor, ammo, weapon bundles, at least level 4 in there for you so that you can get into these games and try some of these tactics. First come, first serve, so you've got to be quick, and we'll have 5 more again at the end of the event. So get into the game, see if you can redeem one of those codes, and you'll have an opportunity to get some free loot. So anyway, we should see these players in Armory here pretty soon, and it will be action-packed because both have demonstrated the most hyper-aggressive tactics we've seen in any of our events up to this point. Sade with so many close-range gunfights, both players flowing through the gunfight, moving very quickly across the map. Armory, one of the smallest maps in this game, but packed, high-density opportunities for those gunfights with guards and bots everywhere, and an expectation that there are fuller teams, more multi-person teams, fewer solos that have better gear. So we'll see if that threat affects these guys slowing down their movement speed or not. But as we transition here, we're going to get into the game here pretty shortly with these guys on Armory, and excited to see how the pace of play goes. Armory with that high threat area in bunker, and as a solo, breaching into bunker is a difficult proposition. You have to time those doors in a way where you don't run face first into a full squad of armory bots. Now, Sade with 250 total points and Semivan with 193. He's got 57 points to close the distance. That is only 12 player kills, and we have 30 minutes for him to do it. Sade now moving quickly. One broken body part. And we see him finally slow down with a little bit of caution here. Sade now cautious, trying to pick the right angle. And as a reminder, if you're just joining us, this format is a pure kill race. 5 points per TAC Ops player kill, 1 point per bot, AI guard kill, or covert ops player kill. No covert ops opportunities here on Armory, as Semivan lines them up and knocks them down, able to clear some of those guards out of his path towards bunker. Sade now attempting to pick up the pace and flow across this map, not being slowed down by the gunfights. Semivan with the single headshot. Sees a target in the distance on the high ground, but elects to continue to move forward. Again, a reasonable likelihood of these players being in the same lobby for game one on Armory. That's what we've seen in both rounds up to this point. Sade now much closer to bunker. And Sade using those green stem shots more than we've seen anyone else in previous rounds of this Golden Lions Legion events. Probably the best utility from those green stem shots is dealing with AI guard fights where you know you're going to be fighting multiples. You know they're probably not going to kill you, but they're going to do at least a little bit of damage. Allows you to save some time and not have to hit multiple heals in those fights. Now, it looks as if Sade and Semivan both have heard the alarm for the bunker breach, but neither of them have made their way all the way to bunker to activate one of those doors yet. So both knowing that they've got to be cautious as they approach bunker with a high likelihood of another team there. But also, if you're not first to bunker, it could be a disadvantage in losing the opportunity to get all of those bot kills inside of that bunker. Semivan now approaching the hole in the wall entry to bunker. Has plenty of indications that there are people there. Sade now taking more damage. Finally downs that guard. Magically hasn't broken any more additional body part. Sade now headed towards this extraction. Looks like he's not even going to approach bunker. This is a high likelihood as a strategy that no backpack extraction point where you're able to get on and off this map quickly. It's what we saw last week, provides some successful opportunity for our players, even in the loot format. But Sade able to finish his first game before the 20-minute mark. 17 eliminations, and he's going to be back into his second game as quickly as possible. Semivan now electing to approach bunker. A totally different tactic. More opportunities for kills, but also plenty of opportunity to get slowed down in that gunfight. The door already open. Guards already down. Takes some damage in that gunfight with a broken left arm. Plenty of footsteps inside the middle of bunker here. And he goes down, shot in the back. Gets off the map quickly, though. Those kills will count. Semivan now off the map almost as quickly as Sade. $14 eliminations, fewer than Sade in his first game. He's going to need to pick up that pace. We see only one TAC Ops player on that list.
That is sad. Sade is gonna die.
Sade now successfully extracting after game one, queuing back in, getting into his second game. Likely going to be able to start that game with more than 20 minutes left on the clock. Getting 3 games in on Armory would be a huge advantage here, especially if he runs into a few TAC Ops teams along the way. Now, Armory presenting a much longer matching time than some of these other maps. Definitely going to cut into the overall 30 minutes that both of these players have. And just aggressively moving into bunker, even with the potential of death, may be the fastest way to get yourself into gunfights here in this format, because dying still allows you to bank those points that you got in that game for kills. And so just sprinting towards that gunfight and completely avoiding the 3-minute extraction timer by just planning to die could be a viable tactic. We'll see if that's the tactic Semivan has chosen to go with. The second game should tell. It's clear that Sade is going for the no backpack extraction and just trying to clear the field without approaching bunker on the way there. Both of these players in the matching screen, looking to get into game 2.
Oh, I didn't repair my armor.
Both players now queuing into their second game. Immediately hits the red stem on the sprint. Just over 19 minutes left. That is likely a team. Sade immediately closing the distance for his first PvP opportunity. He knows he's got a team in there. A great opportunity here to extend his lead. If that's a 4-man team, that's a 20-point potential. Slow walking to limit his sound signature. Semivan now hears all of the footsteps. Semivan now sprinting through the open. getting an opportunity to down these full bot squads, but in a dangerous position here. Could go down to bots, takes a ton of damage to those arms, but not enough critical damage to present a serious threat. Semivan, his tactics clear. Dangerous, high risk, high reward, sprint towards bunker. Launches out a hailstorm of grenades. See if this works out for him. Runs through the gas, getting shot from behind. Bounces the grenade off of the light post. Some of the most aggressive play you could see on Armory up to this point. Shoots through the door. Semivan now somehow still hasn't taken any additional damage other than the gas. Semivan's hyper-aggressive strategy so far working out for him. That green stem again. We've seen both of these players. He jumps the corner, takes a ton of damage, but looks to have won that gunfight, downing the opposing player. Semivan now all over the entry points to bunker. Looks like he knows how far back he is, and he's trying to do something about it. Our updated score is now showing a 68-point lead for Sade. Sade's still alive as he moves through this gunfight. Headshot after headshot. This is not the lobby you want to be in, kids.
Don't tell him that. He was a...
Sade unstoppable right now in this gunfight, downing bots and TAC Ops players alike, and Semivan with an ultra-fast extraction from game 2. Able to hit that extraction point before the 15-minute mark with a 3-minute and 48-second game. Nine eliminations, a low-kill game, but a fast one with plenty of opportunity for more. Sade now also on the extraction point for a very quick game 2. Both players electing to avoid entering into bunker, but Semivan hitting both entry points and rewarded with a few kills there. A high percentage of those 9 kills being TAC Ops players. Sade now 12 kills in game 2.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Multiple TAC Ops kills in that game as well. Look at that list. A huge points game for Sade.
7 players? Wow. Like 5, 6
35 points in that game just from TAC Ops kills. Sade doing everything in his power to continue to extend that lead, but Semivan, with that quick game, giving himself an opportunity. With the action this packed, the production team presented with the biggest challenge we've seen so far as they try and keep up and do a great job keeping up with these gunfights, but almost impossible to see every kill as both players are constantly in gunfights throughout this gameplay on Armory and matched up very close in their queue times throughout
Reset.
this
13 minutes.
round
Or-
a reasonable chance of queuing into the same lobby.
It is so hard to.
Semivan now at the gas station spawn, one of the least advantageous spawn points for this format if you want to get to bunker. However, neither of these players really committing to a bunker strategy. And Semivan taking some shots early. A broken arm, going to re-peak. Electing to get as much utility out of these grenades as possible. We've seen Semivan throw quite a few of these in this round. Letting 4 grenades loose before he approaches here. Knows he has to cross this open area, wants to maximize his chances that either bots or players are heads down and not watching him cross here. Wrapping around to the left.
Who hit me? Bro.
Sade also at gas station here. Continues to push with this hyper-aggressive style, even on Armory. Looks to have gotten a few kills with that grenade.
Dude,
and he goes down!
I knew. Why? This guy, you know.
Sade, the hyper-aggressive style, comes back to bite him a little bit in this game. His third game, although that's a very quick game and he got some kills in. Able to queue back in as quickly as possible. Semivan now just outside of bunker. Same hyper-aggressive tactics as his previous game. It could get him killed. He's got footsteps there to his right. This bot squad lining up nicely for him.
No enemies.
Semivan able to very quickly rack up some of those kills. Looks like he may decide to go for bunker again. Semivan now headed over to hospital. Continues to look for any opportunity. The moment he hears footsteps, he heads right in that direction. This entry point being activated, waiting to be able to enter bunkers, a calculated risk here. As once he's cleared the area, he is not, he's not presented with a lot of opportunity for kills while he waits. And he immediately gets sniped.
Oh, no.
A dangerous position in the open. Both of these players feeling the pressure as we go under 10 minutes left in Armory, both with the hyper-aggressive style. And it shows where the risk is there in that style as he goes down 7 eliminations in that game. Almost all militants potentially falling behind with that death. Sade now with 319 points. Even when the map seems quiet on Armory, there is still a high degree of risk out in the open.
All right, let's go.
Sade now back on the map. That gas station spawn, or yep, that gas station spawn once again. The most exposed potential route towards the gunfight here. This is not a position you will see people in often. Sprinting towards footsteps.
8 minutes.
Drops a player. A game of millimeters and gets the headshot.
Was scary. Got me jumping.
They immediately look to get back into the fight. Sees movement in the distance. Through the trees. That intuition, the ability to detect that movement from far out, but then also the ability to even hit that shot. Any mid to long range kill you get on Armory is an advantage because you will be presented with far too many opportunities for a close range gunfight. Sade finds another player. And another. His hyper aggressive style, his momentum in the gunfight, absolutely overwhelming these teams. Hits the green stem, but ignores that broken limb. The most exposed route to the top. Sade with complete disregard for his safety. You don't need armor if you kill them before they see you.
Holy, yeah, you're right.
Sade taking a little bit more damage there. The rate of kills he's getting in this game is absolutely crazy. He is going to have to slow down at some point and heal.
5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes now left in this round. Neither player slowing down at all towards the end. Semivan immediately takes the gunfight. Has the player backed into a corner. Broken leg here. Sade with the no-scope attempt. His second one finding its target. Both of these players now with 4 minutes left. Sade having extended his lead so far. Big gunfight near bunker. Sade looking for the high ground. Best field of view, any opportunity for more kills here. Downs all three. Bouncing bullets off of this bot's helmet. Sade now with one broken arm and the other one injured. Almost dead in that gunfight with both arms broken. Sade, near perfect intuition on where these players and bots are going to be. Again, maintains an impossibly high rate of kills in this game. Switches to the AX50. Sade now, both arms broken, completely ignoring that. Just constant painkillers. 2.5 minutes now left. Semivan now heads into bunker. Takes some damage in that first gunfight. 2 minutes left. He's now on a suicide mission here in bunker. Taking a tight angle here to minimize his risk and exposure. Still taking shots. No broken limbs. He backs up. Taking on these fights with a little bit more caution than Sade up to this point. Both arms now broken. Clearing out nearly all of the threats in Armory from this single position. He rounds the corner now, significantly more damage. He's going to need to heal at some point. Sade now on the extraction, 45 seconds left with a murderous last game on Armory. Waiting for that kill count.
This was a restaurant.
22 eliminations for Sade, potentially putting himself completely out of reach as you see the number of TAC Ops players he's able to kill there. Semivan now in the final seconds of this round, looking to eke out every single opportunity to close that gap. And as our timer counts down, he's likely going to grenade himself any second here. But with that final game from Sade and the aggression and just the number of kills per minute he was on for that entire game, puts himself likely completely out of reach there. And coming out of this game at the end of our timer, we're going to have a chance to get our final score update, but Sade with the crazy pace through those final few gunfights in that last game, the most aggression we've seen on Armory at any point in this event, looks to have put himself out of reach. We saw over 300 points on the board going into that final game. Sade putting on a show here at the end. Armory is where that crazy opportunity is. You saw him nearly double his points count in the final round, and Semivan with a similarly aggressive strategy, but not quite as apt to run into those 3-foot gunfights constantly. And that difference in pace being a major factor all the way into the final round and the final game. So as we get our highlights and our recap going here, we've got our final set of 5 codes coming up on the screen in a second. Open up your game, get ready for the quick redemption. There they are, 5 codes right below my camera. You gotta be quick. Those are one-time use. Get you some upgraded armor, ammo, and guns, and see if you can pull off a similar play style in Armory. Some of the best in the world playing in these Golden Lions Legion events. So it's exciting to get to see that just wild pace of play. And both of these players playing a hyper aggressive style. And we saw both Sade and Semivan incredibly accurate in the gunfight, consistent with their headshots, high efficiency and high momentum through those gunfights. And so it really comes down to just that little bit of difference when both are playing at such a high level to allow Sade to be able to kind of eke out that points advantage as we progressed through this event. So congratulations to both of these players on some wild success and a ridiculously high kill count for both in 90 minutes of gameplay. I mean, these players averaging over 1 kill, potentially over 2 kills per minute, even counting the time that they're not in the lobby, that they're in between games, is absolutely crazy. So both of these guys putting on a show for the audience today, and we'll get a chance to look at our Armory recap here in just a second, as well as get into some of the highlights and get an interview with our winner at the end of the event. So excited to see some of these highlights, crazy gameplay throughout our map on Armory, and looking forward to seeing the entire game wrapped up in that final number of points. Really, the thing that impresses me the most about these pure kill races is the speed at which these players can get into the next gunfight, right? It's all about maximizing your kills per minute throughout the time on that 30-minute timer. And both of these players absolutely pushing it to be able to get into the next gunfight as quickly as possible. So yeah, we've got them finishing up their streams, and we'll be able to get into an interview here in a little bit. We'll get our recap of the game as the production team calculates the final scores here and gets that ready. And then we'll see some highlights from Armory and some of that action-packed gameplay from both of these players. Sade and Semivan going head-to-head in a pure kill race. And as a rules reminder, and the way the points are calculated is you have to get off the map by the end of the 30-minute time period for those points to count, but they count whether you die or extract, and it is 5 points per TAC Ops player kill, 1 point per Covert Ops player kill. And both of these players today, they had 0 restrictions on the loadout that they could bring into the game. So we saw a lot of grenades. We saw that high-level ammo, with Sade electing to use the M62 ammo throughout this event. And that gives them a huge advantage on those first couple of maps. But that advantage quickly is reduced to almost nothing by the time they're on Armory. So as we finish up here, we're going to get into some of these highlights, and we'll show you our final scores and our winner. I think it's likely that that's going to be Sade today, as that points differential just continued to increase throughout the end, all the way into the end of the event. Sade just having that little bit of advantage in his momentum and his aggression, but it forced him to win those gunfights at extremely close range. So let's take a look at our Armory game recap. Look at the points total. Sade coming away with 53 kills with 109 total points. Semivan with 30 total kills and 42 points. Sade able to find more of those TAC Ops players in our Armory round, and barely beating Semivan in the second round, is able to extend that lead by an even larger margin after our final game. Sade coming away with the overall win. That's why you wanted to see him in this event. Semivan putting on a show as well. And yeah, we're going to see some of these highlights from Armory here in a second. And the most impressive thing, as I will continue to reiterate, is just how quickly these guys can get into the next fight. The number of kills per minute demonstrated here. In many cases, these guards lining up for Semivan, giving him opportunities for quick kills. Sade consistently using that no backpack extraction point to get on and off these maps. And Semivan running into trouble in bunker. We have yet to see a ton of consistency from any players in this solo format inside bunker. And Sade able to close the distance with some of these TAC Ops teams and catch them completely off guard over and over again. Constantly spawning at gas stations. Sade able to clear multiple teams out of that POI, but running into a snipe in the face. Both players multiple times. Whenever you're out in the open, there's danger, but that did not slow down Sade as he constantly took those high-risk positions in order to give himself the fastest opportunity for the kill. Consistently, that momentum, that aggression, overwhelming these other teams. Armory, the first map where we saw Sade in some cases slow down and take them into a long-range fight. We've got our overall points recap. Sade coming away with 187 kills for a total of 359 points. Semivan with 127 kills for a total of 235 points. Sade extending that margin throughout today's event. And with 187 kills, able to put himself over the rate of 2 kills per minute, just over 2 kills per minute in 90 minutes of gameplay for Sade. He put on a show today, and we're going to get a chance to hop into an interview with him and talk to him about it here in just a second.
Yo.
Sade, over 2 kills per minute in 90 minutes of gameplay. What was the strategy to get from gunfight to gunfight as quickly as possible?
These teams are so important, and you always have to keep the momentum, you know, and I didn't even want to waste time by reloading my mags, so I was carrying like 50 round, 2 extra mags, and I was using M62s in them, so that's how I kept the momentum.
Yeah, not having to slow down to constantly reload those mags and using that high-level ammo to finish the gunfight quickly. And Armory, I think we saw some of the most high-risk positions to take out in the open on Armory. But what made you decide to not push into bunker?
I also clear before even before the Armory raids. I said that if I get a close spawn to bunker, I'm just going to get inside, get some kills, and I take the extraction. If I don't get a close spawn, if I get a far spawn from bunker, I will be going for the no back extractions after getting PvPs.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I was so lucky with the spawns. Also, not just my spawn, also with the other players' spawns. They were always closer team to me, and I was able to get the kills, so I was lucky. That's what I said even before the stream, the RNG, the RNG, and I was lucky, I have to say that.
Yeah, you had a lot of opportunities for those gunfights. Give just put on with all of those kills. What would you tip to players that want to be able to kind of take an aggressive gameplay style like that? You have any tips?
Guys, don't be like this. This is just for a tournament, you know. You're supposed not to be playing game like this, you know. This is not that game. Just play it slow. Take your time and always analyze the map and the players, you know. You always have to know, is there a player closer to you or not? You always have to be careful with spawns. So this was just for a tournament, and I was just lucky today. But I was able to finish it too, you know. So
yeah, great gameplay today, and
they better play that North Rush mod, you know.
Yeah,
I played the Northridge before the
we've seen plenty of people call for Northridge in this tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, Northridge Rush, probably the best place to practice that aggressive gameplay style. Yeah,
really cool for this tournament. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Hey, congratulations on the win today. Over 2 kills per minute sets the standard for this kind of event. And maybe not the most advisable gameplay strategy if you're trying to build that bankroll, but great job today, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Also, I want to say congratulations to Semivan. You know, it's good to see OG here. Also, thanks Arena Breakout for this chance. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff to be able to do one of these events every weekend. Congratulations again. And yeah, we'll look to see if anybody can beat you on that kill rate. I doubt it.
I don't know. If it's going to be a solo, you know.
Yep. All right, thanks, man. And thanks to Arena Breakout for setting this up. And we will finish out our event for the day here in a couple of minutes. But congratulations to Sade, setting the standard on how to get those kills quickly and putting up some exciting gameplay for us today. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, you all. See you around.
All right, that was awesome. Sade putting out the word of caution there about his gameplay style. Probably not the best way to play if you want to maintain that equipment, but absolutely exciting to show how capable you can be in the aggressive gameplay style there. Over 2 kills per minute is absolutely wild. So yeah, thanks for everybody joining us today. We are going to continue these events. I am calling to the Arena Breakout staff to continue these events because it's a lot of fun to see all these varying gameplay styles, both solo with teams. Maybe we'll get some Northridge maps into this format in the future. Thanks for watching today. Thanks to the production team for putting on an excellent event. I am Modsix. You can find me at Modsix Gaming almost anywhere. And this is the most tactically realistic game out there for mobile. I'll be in the game if you can find me, and come and try and steal some of that tier 6 loot I'm bringing into all these matches. So, yep, have a great rest of your Saturday, and thanks to Arena Breakout for making this happen. And we'll see you on the next event here on the Arena Breakout main channel. Thanks to everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.